multi-componency network. Okay, so first are physical ports. Ports. Okay, so ports are basically physical. It can be Ethernet ports. It can be fiber channel connections, and the ports will be in each node. Yesterday we discussed about two-node cluster. So each node will have physical ports, and you can create interface groups to aggregate the ports. Aggregate means you are doing trunking on the ports, okay? And then you can
Okay.
use VLAN to subdivide them. Okay, so
Okay.
what you are doing is from ports you are creating IFGRP, that is interface groups, okay? And from
एक
there you are
सेकंड
creating
एक
VLAN.
मिनट
So let me, I'll create all these things, don't worry. First I'm explaining these things. So from port we'll create interface group and to subdivide as per the VLAN. Suppose you have VLAN tagging like 201 or 205, different VLAN. So depending on that, you'll create VLANs in your tab.
So
Okay.
no, on the ports we create interface group. What does it mean?
It means suppose you are creating interface group, right? So I will be just adding two groups together, two ports together for better bandwidth. It's trunking of ports, aggregating
Okay.
ports.
So both ports will be, if we put in the group interface group,
Yes, yes.
both ports will be active active or active passive.
It depends on what mode you use in the interface group. Okay, I will tell you.
Okay.
Here it will be nothing. No, nothing will show because you have not created anything. Okay, but if you want to create, nothing mode is there because you have not created anything. So there will be different modes. Okay, so like multi-mode, static, single mode. In multi-mode, you'll have you know uh, different thing LSCP. Okay, and the interface group that you create, it can be the mode that you are using, right? It can, you can use either MAC or IP. Okay, so okay, I'll do one by one. Okay, I think it's better that I do one by one. Okay, so let me create some interface group and show you. Okay, so normally what I do, I normally give like basic and then I start creating, but okay, no issues. So IFGRP, this is the name I'll give. Okay, A0A. You see E0A, E0B, right? So I'll give A0A. I'll use the Mac function as IP, not a problem. Mode I'll give as multi-mode LSCP. Okay, so these are the mode which is there, LSCP. Okay, and okay, let me create. So IFGRP show. So what I can see this is the active ports or none. Okay, so I need to add some ports. I'll
एक मिनट
basically,
ऊपर आपने कमांड दी IF group create minus node cluster 101 I IF group A0A. Okay.
this is a logical port. Okay, it's not physical. A0A. I need to add
A.
the I need
Okay.
to add the physical port on this logical port. Okay, but I will get error. Let me show you. I will get error.
But what is this IP mode
I
distr distr minus function? What is this?
Okay. So basically, whenever you are using the distribution function as MAC, right? It means that the network traffic that is distributed, it will be distributed as per the MAC address of the physical ports. Okay. And if it is IP, then it will be distributed as per the IP address. That's what it means. Okay. And
Okay.
what
IP.
multiple there are three modes, right? Multi-mode LSCP and single mode, right? So multi-mode means you are basically aggregating or trunking multiple ports, okay, to act as a single port.
तो
Okay,
आपने अभी मल्टी बोर्ड LACP किया कि मल्टी मोड किया है?
I have done multi-mode LSCP. So multi-mode LSCP, what it will do? It will use the LSCP. See, normal multi-mode will have active passive, active passive. Okay, and multi-mode LSCP will have active active. It means both the port will be active. Okay, do you
Okay,
understand?
in the multi mode, bundle multiple members ports of the interface group to act as a single trunked port.
Yes.
Trunk port बनेगा.
That's what I'm talking about, right? Trunking, aggregation. This I'm talking about. Is it? This is trunking. All the things are trunking. Okay.
Okay, so there is one. Can you go on the command what you have entered?
Yeah.
Last command which you have run.
This one. Okay.
What is a AO0 after that DISTR function?
This distribution function, based on the IP address, the network traffic will be distributed. If
Okay,
I give MAC, then based on the MAC address, the network traffic will be distributed among the ports in this logical interface group. Okay. This is
okay,
logical. Suppose I want to create more, right? This is difficult part, okay, that I'm teaching you. Okay, and you want to create something else. Okay, so okay, so now you can see the interface group is created, but it is not part of any active ports. So I have to add the physical port, right? Okay, so FGRP. Yeah, please mute yourself. So IFGRP, you need to do add port. Okay, A0A. So I need to select which port to add. So this is node 1, right? So I'll select, okay, both the ports are down. Okay, let me select, because these ports are showing down because I have not added any physical port to it. Okay, so that's it showing down. So I am now adding it, comma E0B. Yes, specifies port is not part of default IP space. So what it means? So normally, that's why I wanted to first give you the knowledge of. Can I do one thing before creating things? I want to give you the knowledge of all the things. Okay, then you'll understand. I can do the things, but you'll not understand. So
okay,
let me give you the knowledge first. Okay, the second concept that we have is LIF. LIF means basically it's a virtual entity that you get. It's a logical interface where we assign a IP to a port. So when you try to bind a IP to a port, okay, so we call it as LIF. Okay, so what this LIF will have, it will have a port, it will have like home node where this LIF will be there. Home node means you saw two node, right? Cluster 1, cluster 2, cluster 0 and cluster 2. So it will have one node. Okay, and it will also have some other ports where the LIF will fail over to. Okay, it can fail over to some other node also, some other port also. Okay, and it will have a V server. V server is nothing but a container where you will have the volumes, shares, LANs, everything. So it's just a container. You can call it like a VM. Okay, and you will have a role. A role means whether it is for data LIF, whether it is for cluster LIF, whether it is for management LIF. Yesterday I talked about different network, right? Data network, management network, cluster network. Okay, Intercluster network, intercluster is only for replications, so intercluster role, okay. So that thing will be there, okay. And you'll also have a routing group. Routing group means you need to route, suppose you are connecting this NetApp port to a Ethernet port, Ethernet switch port, right? So you need to have routing also, okay. And
Okay.
so these things you need to understand. So command to
So
this, see, that is network interface show, okay. So these are the leaves. These leaves, you create these leaves, these three leaves, during the time of NetApp installation, okay. These are all cluster leaf, these are all management leaf, okay. We are not creating this for any data network. And these are all public IP, you can see, right? But these things are private IP, you see, right? These are only for NetApp internal communications. Will not be giving this IP. This will take automatically when you install the NetApp, okay. You cannot reach this IP also. This is for internal communication in NetApp. This is if you want to access the NetApp, you will be using this IP, okay. If you are using this IP, you will be connecting to the cluster which I use now, and this IP is connecting to the node. So you have two node, right? Cluster 1 and cluster 2, right? So node show. So these are the two nodes, okay. So you want to connect to this node, you will do putty and you'll connect this node, okay.
okay, so I have one question. Like, show me the all the interface of the NetApp. Like, how many interfaces are there total? You have run the command before.
Yeah, this is the interface. This 4 7.
No, like A, B, C. The interface there. You have open. You have run that command.
No, not like that. ABC, that is port. That is port. That is
Yes,
not
yes.
interface.
So that is interface. So I'm saying port or interface is the same thing. Like, I want to see how
No.
many are there.
Port is physical entity. Interface is logical entity. We are creating interface means we are binding a IP to a port, that is called interface. We are this IP is bounded to this port, and then that is interface. Okay. Interface is, you can call it like IP binding. You are accessing the IP,
Okay.
and you can create these many interfaces: cluster, data, node management, intercluster, cluster management. Okay. So
So show me how many ports are there in this. Like the physical ports. I want to see how many physical ports are there.
yeah, that is the command I gave is initially. These are the physical ports.
So hold on. Okay. So A0A, A0B.
These three are logical ports. I just created now, right? Interface group.
Yes, this is a logical port. And A0A and so E0A, E0B is a part of cluster. So we can't use it. Am I right?
Yeah. These uh, there are IP space. IP space is there. Suppose you are working in a project, you have two different client, okay, but you do not have budget to create separate NetApp arrays. You do not have budget. You do not have money. Then what you do? You do storage partitions, logical partitions, okay, and that's why we need IP space. So normally, whenever you get the NetApp, you install the NetApp on top operating system. By default, you will have two IP space, one default and one cluster. The cluster IP space for cluster management network, okay, and the default IP space for data network, okay. And if you want to separate, if you want to create some other IP space for your separate project, suppose you have diligenta friends live project diligenta, so you create IP space name diligenta, friends live you create IP space name friends live, and you move the ports there, okay, physical ports there, and you can use it. So here, that's why I was trying to give you all the knowledge, then I will create the things. Otherwise you will not understand, because everything is dependent on other concept. If I want to create leaf, I have to give routing table. If I do not explain the routing table, you will not understand.
I have one question. This E0A, E0B, these two ports are used by cluster for intercommunication and management. Am I right?
E0,
E
no,
no,
no.
no, E0A. I'm saying
Yes,
E0A,
yes.
E0B.
This is for
Okay.
cluster only, yeah. So
Yes, and
network.
if you come on E0C, E0D, wait, sir.
Yeah, see, you can see, right? E0C, E0C. Okay, 1 second.
Yes. So if you come on, if you go, okay, so yes. So if you come on the, yes,
E0A,
yes.
E0B. Okay, so
If
here
you
I will
come,
tell you.
yeah, if you come on E0C, E0D, E0E, E0F, or G,
Yeah,
so all the information is showing default. What default means that we can use it for the uh, for for our iSCSI connection. Am I right?
you can use for iSCSI, you can use for IPspace, you can use for CIFS, NFS. Okay,
So you mean to say that where default is written, it means we can use it
data,
for our
data,
data.
data, data, data
Okay.
replication. Cluster one you cannot use. This is for internal communication. Okay, this is for internal
Okay.
communication. You can use. Uh, this is internal communication. This one E0C you are using for management network, that is fine, but sometimes you can use management network for data also. You can understand, right? Data also you can use, but you cannot use this internal one, this one. Okay,
Okay.
so let me show you this. Let me show you this 1 second. Okay, you can see, right? This is cluster. Okay, and you go for cluster management. So this is cluster management, you can see, right? And if you go for node management, okay, you understand, right? So this is for the managing the cluster, means you are going to access the cluster on this IP, and you are going to access the nodes using this IP. Okay, so what is IP space? IP space basically you are using to separate the on-tap cluster from one IP network to another. So suppose you have two different tenant like friends like Diligenta, so you can create two different IP space, but you can use same IP because it will not actually talk. You can use same IP range also. Okay, you can use different IP range, same IP range. Same IP range. Suppose I am creating a data LIF, okay, in Diligenta, so I can use same IP in Diligenta and friends like, okay, if we have
So
different IP space.
I have confusion about the IP space. What is IP space?
IP space is logical partitions in NetApp. In
What?
Hitachi, we call it as SLPR. Yeah, it's partition, right? See, it will take some time to understand NetApp because NetApp is little bit difficult. You'll not understand initially, but you have to keep like effort. The basic is the most toughest challenge. Okay. So IP space. So what IP space you have by default? Alright, गाड़ी आ जाएगी. By default you will have two IP space, cluster and default. Okay, cluster and
Uh-huh.
default. So this is automatically created. If you want to create some other for some other client, you can create. This is
No,
to sep-
I understand we can create it, but my in my mind I can't imagine how why this IP space is working, like how it is working. Can you show
this
me that? Can you create some diagram so maybe I will understand?
space. The problem is, uh, problem is, I'm saying why it is image. Yeah. So just check the diagram. Okay. So this is
Hmm.
IP space one. This is IP space two. This is segregating the network. This is a NetApp, right? Your NetApp. So it is
Okay.
segregating the NetApp. That's all. You can see here, right? Here two node cluster, one node cluster, two node cluster. So here it's getting this one, right? This NetApp is there, so it is segregating this thing. You understand, right? So this is separate. This is same network. It's a four node. Totally, it's a four node NetApp cluster. You can see, right? Four node is there, but you are
Yes.
separating three node in one IP space and one node in another IP space. You can see, right? Not three node actually. One second, let me see the IP. Yeah, little bit too complicated can see here, right? This company A, company B. So you have two company, Friends Life and Diligenta. Okay, you have two projects. So what you do, you create two IP space. Okay, this is the same NetApp. It's a two node cluster. Okay, you create IP space. You are using IP space for company one. You are using IP space B for company two. It's just logical segregation. So whatever you have, shares, learns, everything, right? It will not be visible to this. This company will not. They cannot access this. Got it?
Okay.
That's how we need IP space.
But we are segregating this all this thing on which level? Network level, uh, like we are doing the partitioning of the drive. If I have laptop, I have C and D drive. Okay, I'm doing the logical uh, partitions. Okay, so I understand that I'm doing the logical partition of the hard drive. So this 500 GB is for C, this 500 GB is for the D.
Hmm.
So where this logical partition is taking place, like it is on the network level, how you are segregating each other, each company, like.
Okay, that's a very good question. So IP space, what we are doing logical segregation, and it's basically, I mean, it's done on the network level. It's on the network level. I'll tell you how. IP
Okay.
space show, right? Hyphen IP space default. Okay, give the command. What you can see your ports, your broadcast domain. So you are basically segregating or defining the V server, like V server, broadcast domain and physical ports. Okay, and if you create interface group, then those things will come here also. Okay,
Okay.
so this is network level segregation. You are not segregating the disk. Okay, you are
Okay.
not segregating the disk. You are not segregating the aggregates. Okay, this is a very good question. Okay, and basically if you are creating IP space, right? So what is happening, uh, you can have like same IP network, like same IP range. Okay, if both the companies using same IP range, you can still use this in different IP space. That is possible. Okay, so it is basically a multi-tenancy feature. Okay, so it will allow you to share a cluster, like same cluster. Okay, between two different companies, and it will separate the storage traffic uh, between the two companies. Okay, one storage traffic cannot see by the other storage traffic. Okay,
Okay.
whenever you are installing the NetApp, by default it will create default IP space. Okay, so whenever so what you are doing, suppose you are creating some V server, right? V server is basically nothing but VM. Okay, which contains the volumes share everything, right? Here there is data V server is not there. So when I create, I will show you. Okay, so when you are creating the data V server, what is happening is that you are please mute yourself. Sometimes you mute yourself, okay, because lot of background noise. Okay, so whenever you are creating the V server, data V server, right? Data V server means I will create like data underscore V server or data one. Okay, here I will create, right? So this data V server will be created on default IP space. Okay, by default it will be created on default IP space. Okay, not on cluster. Okay,
Which okay. This I, can you repeat what you said? Can you repeat what you're saying? Can you please repeat again?
whenever we are creating the V server, data V server, this is not data V server, this is admin V server, this is node V server, this is only for management purpose. Suppose you want to create LAN shares, then you need to create data V server. Okay, and when you create the data V server, you need to, I mean, it will automatically select the default IP space to create the data V server. So it will create on the default IP space. Okay, you understood?
Sir, I don't want to confuse myself in the V server right now. So let's finish the network. So you are explaining the network here. So let's finish it. Otherwise, I will get confused in the V server. So let's
Okay,
complete the network. Then we come on the V server. Okay.
no, no, but whenever I'm explaining the, okay, initially I explained the V server, right? The first thing initially I was explaining the V server, right? V server show. I was explaining. Okay, no problem. I will explain. Okay.
So let me understand the network first, like how we are dividing the network, like how it is. So it's always better that you show me in the in the paint. If you make a paint, I understand the picture how logically it works. So how we are dividing the network. So yeah,
Mm. I think you worked as a network engineer also, right? I mean, initially in your career.
yeah, I know network a little bit, but not in the core level.
Okay. Okay. So the next concept comes is broadcast domain. Okay. So broadcast domain is basically you are like grouping of you can say grouping of ports. Okay, both like physical and virtual. So ports is physical, virtual is interface group and VLAN. Okay, so what is you will have initially when you install the on tab you will have two default broadcast domain, one is cluster, one is default. So your this broadcast domain, right, this cluster broadcast domain will be scoped to cluster IP space, default broadcast domain will be scoped to default IP space. Okay, and you will have the port. Okay, you'll have the port. Okay, and if you want to create interface group VLAN, so those things will be also be part of the broadcast domain. Okay.
So what is different between interface group and broadcast domain?
So the
Hello?
IP, yeah, the IP space that we have, right?
No, no,
That is
IP,
a
not
pure
IP. Yeah,
interface group.
IF group, interface group, and what
Interface
group and broadcast
so
domain.
interface group is nothing but you are aggregating different physical ports to create a logical port. It is trunking or link aggregation. Okay,
Okay.
and IP space is for multi-tenant feature. So if
No,
you
no,
notice
not
this,
IP. IP space, I
yeah,
know.
broadcast, yeah.
Broadcast domain,
So
yeah.
broadcast domain is it's not, you are not doing trunking, you are just have one broadcast domain, so you are just using it. So you are just like how do you say this is, you just have like 15 or 10 like all the broadcast, all the ports, right? So it will be part of one broadcast domain, that's it. It will be part of one broadcast domain. So broadcast domain is basically used for failover policy. How the, I mean, suppose you have a port, right, and you have created a leaf on this port, or maybe you have a interface group which you created from these two ports, and you have leaf created on that interface group, right? So suppose some issue happened, suppose the ports are faulty, so it needs to fail over to some other port, right? So that the your data access like CFS, NFS access or LAN access goes smoothly, right? So in that case, what you do is this broadcast domain will help. So you can say like broadcast domain wide or cluster wide. Okay, the failover policy. Okay, so it will fail over to any port in the broadcast domain. Okay, you understand?
No, sir. Can you make a picture so I can understand better? Like in the MS Go, open the MS Paint, so it will be helpful. Like how you are creating how it works actually. What is the logical behind the creating a broadcast domain?
Just one second.
You can make in the Paint. Open the Paint
Yeah,
and make.
I can make in the paint, yes, but it is very easy. I mean, that will take some time. So here, right, you can see, right, these are the broadcast domains. Suppose you have some IP space, right? So you have a broadcast domain here, okay? So this is your default broadcast domain. Okay, so this is a, sorry, cluster and default. Okay, so all the cluster port will be part of this cluster broadcast domain. All the ports of default IP space, whatever in default IP space, it will be in default broadcast domain. Okay, all the interface groups in default IP space will be in default broadcast domain. All the interface groups and VLAN which are part of your cluster IP space will be in cluster broadcast domain. You understand, right? So you need broadcast domain. It is to access the layer 2 networks, physical, virtual. So basically, the broadcast domain which are used by the NetApp, it is used to determine that what ports an SVM can use for the LIFs. Okay, so it is basically a thing, because every IP space will have something, right? vServer, all these things, right? So every IP space will also have broadcast domain. So whenever you are creating or you are installing ONTAP, it will create default broadcast domain, it will create default IP space, it will create cluster broadcast domain, it will create cluster IP space. Cluster IP space will tie it to cluster broadcast domain. Default IP space will tie it to default broadcast domain. Okay. So basically we are using the broadcast domain to determine. So this is your ONTAP. Okay. So two node ONTAP. Okay. And this is your IP space. Okay, so where is the text? Where is okay. So not this, sorry, this one. Okay, so this is your IP space, this is your broadcast domain, this is your net node. Okay, so all the ports will
Which
have
is
a
which is IP space?
hmm?
Which one is IP space?
This one is IP space. Okay, just giving this, like, this is not physical entity, this is all virtual entity, this is all
Oh,
virtual.
do one thing. Open the word. We can make it better there.
I don't have license.
Should I share my screen?
Yeah, you can also share. Let me hear. Let me do here. You cannot record, right? So that's the problem. Second. Here also productive string, it should not show productive because it is what is this? Sorry.
No.
One
Let
second.
me share my screen.
What? What?
Okay, so this is WordPad. Okay.
Second. It's not what, right?
You can see my screen.
No, no, no. One second. Here what will come. One second. You can see, right? What has come?
You are you are checking my screen.
No, no, no. Okay, you are sharing.
I should share or you are showing me.
No, no, no. You can. One second. You can share my. You can see my screen right now.
Now I can see.
Okay. So here you are wanted to create, right? Okay. Mm, shapes. You're right. This is better. This is default. Why it's going little bit low? Little bit high. Yes. Default. IP space. the picture. This is default. So what I was talking about is this default broadcast domain, right? So it will have ports here, physical ports here. Okay, you understand what I'm trying to say? So your default broadcast domain will have physical ports. Okay, here this will have physical ports. Okay,
Physical port
of your
which place?
NetApp nodes, NetApp nodes,
Node or nodes?
nodes, nodes, not node. See, different nodes you're having, right? Cluster 1, cluster 2, right?
Cluster
If you,
one, cluster two. Yes.
yeah, if you create interface group, you'll have those things here also. I have not added it, I have not mentioned, that's why it's not here. It will here. See, what interface group we created? We created something, right? A0A, it's not here, right? Because those are down. Once I add the port, it will come here. Okay, I will do that. And
So,
if you need
sir,
IP, yeah.
wait, sir, wait. Create a broadcast domain. One for me. Create a broadcast domain.
What are you saying?
Can you create a one broadcast domain?
Yeah, I will create those things. I will create everything. I will first. I'm trying to explain to you the things, because if I create something, right, even if I create broadcast domain, I need something. That's why I need to explain all the things. Then I can create.
Okay,
Because
so write a command so I will understand better because this way I don't understand.
I understand. I understand. I will create all these things. Just first, I need to give you the basic idea. Then you understand. Like little bit. When I create, then you'll understand. Otherwise, when I create, right, people will say that I didn't explain it. So that's why I'm trying to explain first. Why we need this, what are this, and then I will create. Okay, so broadcast domain, let me explain two more things, then I will create. Okay, then we routing table is there. So routing table is basically what is used for. This is for vServer. Every vServer, whenever we create this CFS share, right, or NFS export, right, we need to access those things from NetApp, right, because the data is in NetApp, right. So you will have routing table to access the data which is on SVM, okay, or vServer, okay. So we'll have routing table, okay.
Okay.
Okay, we'll have the routing. Here we do not have anything like only cluster, because only we do not have any data vServer created yet, so we are not creating, not created. Okay, let me just one second. Okay, so this is routing table. This is very important. Without the routing table, you will not be able to access anything. Okay? And then you have subnet. Subnet is like that I will explain to you later, because again you will not understand. Subnet is just like to create the link LIF easily. The logical interface group we are creating, right, to create the easily. Subnet is pool of IP addresses. So whenever we are creating the LIF, right, whenever we are creating the LIF, right, you just give the subnet name, and when you create the subnet, we give the IP range, like suppose this IP 1111 hyphen 111 or 191. So you'll have 91 IPs. So we create the leaf, it will take any of the IPs. Okay, so we do not need to give IP manually. So that's why we need subnet. And that is DNS zone. DNS zone means this leaf is there, right? Suppose you want to access the share. Suppose I created some share on this v server, right? So I will access using this leaf. Okay, so I'm just giving an example. This we cannot do because this is a management network, just giving an example. So this leaf, right, so this leaf I will give DNS entry on my active directory, okay, DNS server, so that I can use hostname instead of the IP. I also have to create DNS entry, DNS zone in NetApp also, in order to do that. Okay, so here we do not have anything because we just have for cluster, but once we create the you know once we create the other fee servers, then we do this. Okay, so let me just show you. So first what I was doing was I was doing interface group. Okay, do you remember?
Yes.
Okay, so I will do something for you. I create the IP space. Okay, IP space, broadcast domain, everything. Okay, so this is a very difficult this is a difficult one. Okay, it's not an easy one because you don't need to create IP space broadcast domain in your environment, because normally you'll be using cluster and default only. Okay, so let me do that, okay, for you. Okay, so what broadcast domain we should name, we should give, we'll give like diligenta. It was my project. Okay, so MTU size 1500. Okay, IP space we have not created. One second. Diligenta. Okay, so IP space show. Okay, so we have created the IP space. So now let me create the broadcast domain. Okay, okay. Now it is an empty broadcast domain. I don't have anything. I need to move some ports here. Okay, so I'll move some ports from here. Okay, so before that I will remove some ports. Okay, let me just remove some ports. Remove some ports. Broadcast domain before. We want to remove E0 G. Okay, 0G. I will not remove many ports. Okay, I don't want many ports. So I wrote this course. Okay, so I will add this course to my newly created broadcast domain. Okay, so which is Diligenta. four ports, three ports, right? So I will use this. Wait. Now click broadcast domain. Show. So you see, right? These are added, right? And
Wait, 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 wait. I want to check cluster 101, cluster 1, 2. Why you have taken cluster 02 and 1 and 2 also?
yeah, because whenever I'm creating a leaf on this port, right? If this node is down, I want this leaf to be migrated to some other node. I cannot do that if it is not part of broadcast domain. I cannot move a port from this broadcast domain to this, sorry, leaf logical interface from this broadcast domain to this broadcast domain, right?
No, I have one question. You have created a broadcast domain for the four network ports
Mm-hmm.
01, E0F, E0G, or E0F, like for the on the two nodes. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And what is E0F? It is a IF group.
No, no, no. This is a port.
Okay, is a port. Okay. So if you create on cluster, if
You see, right? This is a port. You can see, right?
yeah. Okay. So my question is to you: if you create broadcast domain on cluster 0101 only, okay, only two entries. If you take,
Mm-hmm.
and if this node went down,
Mm-hmm.
what will happen?
If the node is down, right? Suppose you have created the uh, broadcast domain diligenta with this cluster one only, okay?
Yes,
Not on
two.
cluster two. And
Yes,
you have some leaf created on E0F, right? Okay.
yes.
So this leaf will only be in this node, so it will be down only. The leaf will be down. The CFA shares will be down because the node is down. It cannot migrate to the other node because this node is not other node is not part of the broadcast domain.
Okay.
It cannot go outside. It cannot go outside of the broadcast domain.
So interface group will not come into the picture here.
Interface group will come, but you can create interface group with the same broadcast domain only. You cannot create from here and here. It is not possible.
So interface group we have to create it on the same node, or it is a different node because you have created
No,
the
no,
broadcast domain.
different node, yes, but same broadcast domain. I cannot create interface group from different broadcast domain. You understand? I cannot take diligenta and default and group them together. It is not possible.
So okay. So interface group you can create on each node, or we can, for example, cluster 101 have two ports, cluster 10102 have two ports. You can create interface group between 01 and 02 node. You can make it together, or you have to make it on each node.
Let me show you. I'm not added anything, but whenever you create interface group, right? Okay. Suppose this is interface group, right? This is show, not show. One second.
But you understand my question or not?
Yeah, understood, understood. I understood it. Okay. So normally, when you create the interface group, right? So normally, whenever you create the interface group, we create on the same like interface group is there, leaf is there. We create on the same node only. Okay, not on different node. Okay,
Like
same node only.
broadcast domain, you have put first two port of the cluster 1 and first two port of cluster 2. Okay, so
Yes.
you make a broadcast domain. So what about the interface group? You can take two ports of the interface cluster 1 and two ports of cluster 2.
No, 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 no.
That is my question.
Interface group. See. when you are doing trunking, right, in a switch, right, you are doing trunking in a brokerage switch, okay? So what you do trunking, you you do the trunking of the ports in the same brokerage switch, right? You cannot do different brokerage switch trunking, right? Can you do that? You cannot do, right?
The trunking is a different thing. Trunking, what trunk? Why we use the trunking? Trunking is used for to carry the VLAN. Am I right?
Trunking is used for link aggregation to get better bandwidth.
No, trunking is used to carry the VLAN data. That is the purpose of trunking. If you Google it, check.
Okay, that is fine, that is fine. So here what we are doing trunking, what
Trunking
we are
is
doing
to
link.
carry. We don't need trunking. If we are using our local account, we don't need trunking. Trunking is used to carry the multiple VLAN information on the network. For example, you have put 5 interface together and create a VLAN, and you put the name 20 VLAN. Okay, and we are making a 30 VLAN, and you want to communicate with the network that lane VLAN, but it will not communicate. You have to create a one port as an interface port, and you have to convert it to the trunk port. If you create the trunk port, it carries the VLAN information to the network, so you can communicate with the network. So leave the trunk port. Trunk port will not come in the picture.
Hmm. See, here the interface what we create, interface group what we create, we create to aggregate the link. So we are creating two, we are grouping two ports together, right, of same node. If one port is down, then other port is there. So that is the reason we create. Okay, this is, and
Okay.
also to get the more better bandwidth, better bandwidth.
Okay.
You understand what better bandwidth means? Let me show you this. Okay, see, see,
But can,
see, right?
uh, can
You are
can you stop sharing your screen? Can you please stop sharing your screen?
okay. 1 second. Okay, you want to share the screen? Okay, got it, got it. Yeah, I have stopped sharing it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So this is my screen. Okay, you can see.
Not yet, not yet. Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes, I can see your screen. Yes.
Okay. Let me make a shape. This is one node.
Mm-hmm.
Node. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And uh, this is the interfaces. Okay. One, two, three, four. You can see.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So interface group is like you are. First, I will talk about the broadcast domain. Okay. So broadcast domain is like you are. Wait, one more thing I want to create it.
See, this is you will understand. You will understand this thing slowly. Once we, you have to take like repeat sessions. Once we do this, right? You need to just go through that. I'll give you some documents. Okay. So you need to go through the documents. It will take some time to understand. It is easy only. The reason why you are not able to understand, because we are covering too many things in a single session. That's why. That's why. Okay. But it is
This
easy only.
this is node 2.
People will normally struggle to create IP space broadcast driven because they don't need to create normally.
So
Suppose.
you can see my screen.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
can see your screen.
you are creating this
broadcast domain. Broadcast domain.
This is the broadcast domain. Am I right?
Yes, yes. Good, good. Very good. Yeah, yeah. This is the broadcast domain. Yes.
This is broadcast domain.
Mm-hmm.
If this node get failed,
Mm-hmm.
you will still have access to the net to the system
IP.
from
Yeah.
these two ports.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
Yes, yes.
okay. Okay. You got it? Okay. So this thing I understand as per my
Mm-hmm.
information. Is it okay?
Yes, yes. It's okay. It's
So
okay.
I just want to show you that how I understand. Okay. If you
Mm-hmm.
make a clear picture,
Yeah, yeah.
you
This clear. Yeah.
you can make the person understand. You
Yes,
are
yes, yes.
teaching me like baby. Okay.
Oh,
Don't.
got it. Got it. Got it. Yeah.
Okay. So
Understood.
interface group is you are creating this two
Yes,
interface
yes, yes,
and these two interface
yes, 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 yes,
you
yes,
are putting in one group. I
yes, yes,
interface. Okay. This is interface group.
yes, yes, yes. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So this is interface group.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So in
Okay.
the broadcast domain, you can add the interface group information or not. That
Yes, 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 exactly. Or what I can do is that these two you can see, right? You give a cross mark, right? Cross mark. Do you see the cross mark?
yes,
So these two can be interface group, and
yes,
other
yes.
two
So
can.
I am saying this. I created this. This two is interface group, and this one interface group.
Hmm. So
So
you can move this interface group from this broadcast domain. Suppose this is in default broadcast domain to this broadcast domain that you just
no,
circled out, right?
no,
You can move it.
I am assuming all these four ports are in the default one. So first we have to remove it from there, and we have to create an interface group. After
Hmm.
interface group, we have to add it in the broadcast domain. Am I right?
Yes, yes, that is correct. Yes, yes, yes.
So show me the command how to put the interface group in the broadcast domain.
Hmm. Okay, okay. That is
So
a
this
typical
I want
borderline
to do.
issue.
So you understand how because it is like you are the teacher. So that's the way I'm saying that because
Hmm.
some students are not. If you like, if I show my son how what is the apple, I show him the apple how it is. So he understand better picture. Human beings understand picture better. Am I right?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
I can't remember the MAC address. That I can remember I can't remember the IP address, but I can remember the name.
Hmm. Okay. So let me. Hmm.
Share your screen, please.
Hmm. You can see my screen, right?
Mm, right now, no.
Okay. One minute. No problem. I'll do one thing. So I have this interface group. Okay. I have this
I
interface group.
I can't see your screen, sir.
You cannot see my screen. What about now? Can you see my screen?
Uh, yeah, yes, now I can see.
Okay. So I may get error. Okay. It's not a problem. I may get error, but I will fix it. Okay. A0B, A0C. Okay. 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 Got it. Got it. background noise is coming. 1 second. কি হয়েছে? কি হয়েছে নাকি?
মিস্ত্রি চলে এসছে। কি হয়েছে? কোনো মিস্ত্রি চলে খাবার মাঝে?
মিটিং দেখতে পাচ্ছি, কি মিস্ত্রি এসছে? কি হয়েছে? মিস্ত্রি এত সকালে কি আসতে বলেছে?
আমি তো ওই জন্য জিজ্ঞেস করলাম যে তুমি কি কাজ করছো?
মিস্ত্রি তো ওকে জিনিসগুলো দিয়েছো, ইয়েগুলো?
কি বল? কি বাবা বলছো সত্যি করতে রাখতে?
One second, 1 second. So, interface IFGRP so right. Again. So even if I try to, it will not allow me. Let me just try. Broadcast domain, add ports, FN IP space, delete enter. A0 A. It will not allow. Oh, got it. This the reason why it will not allow is because of this. Okay, okay. Got it, got it. IFGRP, add port A0A, port is made to show A0A, A0 G. Okay. It is not assigned to default specified. It is not assigned to default IP space. Default IP space. I need to move this interface group. IFGRP default IFGRP. One second. A0 A0D. I don't want A0D. A0F. But I want this part of something else. Okay, just 1 second. A0F bytes. IFGRP. Add ports. What is this one? A0F. What is E0F? E0F. It will give you some error. Yes. This was not assigned to default IP space. Yes. So whenever you are creating this, it is getting assigned to default IP space. So how do I move it to this? We can move it to that. Straight. This is actually a difficult part. Okay. 1 second. 1 second. E0F, E0G, E0F, E0G. Okay. create the interface group, but I want to move it to diligenta. So whenever I'm creating, it is on default IPspace, yes, but I want to create him this other IPspace, okay, other one. I want to move it to the other one, okay. So I'm not able to, even if I do add port, I'm not able to. Okay, so the command I executed is this one. What the hell is this? Okay, 0 here. Yes, so this is the something, right? So once again, okay, so this command is failing, okay, this command is failing, this command is failing, IPspace show, okay, that is okay. So broadcast domain, add ports, one second, IPspace is diligenta, add ports is node is cluster 101, okay, colon A0F, okay, let me check whether it's work. No member ports, no member ports. It does not have a port, it cannot be added. But even if I try to add the port, I cannot add it, okay, no problem. So interface group, add port, are you there? You are there, right? Okay, got it. So let me first add something port from I do not want to add the above port because I'll be using from some other lab, right? So that's why. So E0D, okay, let me try to add E0C, E0D, okay. So E0, sorry, E0C, comma E0D, okay. Default that is okay. Okay, no problem. So কি হয়েছে কি ও ডাকছে কি কি আনতে হবে এখন তো এটা কাজ করছে, কাজ করুক না ওরা, ওদের সাথে কথা বলতে হবে। তুমি বলেছো আজকে কথা বললে? তো কেন বলে দেখো, বলো রংটা কত লাগবে বলো। আমার ভাই বলে যে প্রাইমার না গেলেও বোঝা যায়, মানে রুম সাইজ থেকে বোঝা যাবে যে রংটা কত লাগবে।
অন্য মিষ্টি কেউ করতে পারে, সব সমান কোন মিষ্টি পাবি করছে
ঠিক আছে,
আমি তো বলছি ও ভালো খেয়েছে, কিন্তু ভালো এই মেয়েকে লাগিয়েছিল নামটা রহমান তো কেমন কাজ করে লোকগুলো দিয়ে কাজ না করে পয়সা ভালো আস্তে আস্তে ঝিলিমিলি করছে বিকট হয়ে যাচ্ছে ওদের পুরো খেয়েছিল।
So broadcast one, okay. So one second. So I need to remove the port, okay. So I'll just remove the port. Okay. So from default broadcast one, I'll remove the port of E0C, okay, E0D, okay. Cluster 101. Sorry, one second. E0D, comma 01 colon E0 E, okay. So I'll remove this port, the ports, okay. Okay. Yes. I know this, but problem is, one second. A0G, not G, sorry, ED, right? So D, A0D. second. Add port A0 D. What the hell? E0 E0 D, E0D and E0 E. Okay, got it. A0D, so A0C. Okay, even if I do that, E0E is there. The problem is it is very easy to create interface group and add the ports, but it is not easy to move the ports between the broadcast domain. Okay, interface group I'm talking about. Move the interface groups. Okay, it is not easy to move the interface groups. Okay, so A0F is there. So how many ports is there?
Can you please hold on? Can you please hold on? Hold on. I've got some call. Hold on, please.
Okay. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to create interface group. Trying to create interface group. I'm trying to edit. Move it to this. Okay. One second, let me think. E0D, E0E, right? So E0D, E0E. So A0D is A0F is this. A0D, E0D, E0E. So IFGRP add ports. Store one. A0D. Port is E0D. Okay. And E0E. Okay. So this is A0D. Now I want to move this A0D to this. So broadcast domain add ports IPspace. That's what thinking why I'm doing wrong. I'm not doing wrong. It's not possible. Broadcast must be gentle A0D, right? Which you created just now. So are you there, Avneet?
Hold on. I'm on call. Wait. Hold on, sir. Please hold on. Hold on.
Okay. It is created and added. Okay.
Yes, sir. Now tell me. Yes.
So what I did was, one second. I have added the interface group. Okay, you can see here, right? A0D. Okay, I have added the both ports E0D and E0E. Okay, on this interface group A0D. Okay,
Okay.
and then I added that A0D to broadcast domain diligenta.
Can you show me the IF group command? Show IF group show. Okay, so you have created A0D
Yes, yes,
and you have added the two ports in that one.
yes. Yeah, yeah.
Now what is
So
it? If you see down ports E0D and E0E, this is the ports you have entered.
because it is down because we have not created any leaf on it, logical interface on it.
Okay, so
We
how you added in the broadcast domain this interface group? How you added?
Yes, I have added. Yeah,
Show me the command. Which command you used to add into the interface?
this is the command to add.
IPspace Linear broadcast domain port cluster. Wait. Broadcast domain add ports IP space deligenta broadcast domain deligenta ports cluster 01. But where you put the uh, interface group information?
Here is A0D. A0D is my interface group.
Okay, okay,
A0D.
okay, okay. Show me the broadcast domain show. No broadcast domain show.
Yeah, I'm showing you that one only.
Where the interface group showing?
Here, A0D.
Cluster 1 A0D. But what is E0F?
E0 physical port, physical, which you added initially. Physical port. So added both interface group and physical port.
Okay, in A0D, which port is included?
These two ports.
Uh, okay, E0D and E0E. Now come, okay, now come on that command E0D, E0E. Come on that command again.
Which one?
Broadcast domain one. Okay, so is better always we can put all the ports together and create and create an interface group. Is better always or not? What is the best practice?
Base practice is always to yes, it's always to create interface group on multiple ports. It is the best practice, and then we can create VLAN on it if you have different VLAN. VLAN is to subdivide the interface group, logical subdivision. Okay.
Yeah, I understand. Don't talk about the VLAN right now because we are not in mode in network. So only interface group we can create with the two ports or four ports. Like how many interface group you recommended here? Because
Two
we have
ports,
four ports.
two ports only. Okay. So in my environment, in an environment, we have created also four ports also. Okay. Do you want me to create with four ports?
No, but no. What is the best? I know you can create with the 3, 1, 2. I know you can create it,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm asking you what is the best practice.
Base practice is it depends on your environment. What is the bandwidth you're looking for? Okay. So suppose this is net. One second.
The bandwidth will be the same.
No, bandwidth will not be same. You see, it is 1000, right? 1000 Mbps, right? So if you are using 4 ports, right? So you'll have what, 4000 Mbps, right?
Yes.
So that's what I think. But you want 4000, you can use 4 ports. You want 2000, you can use 2 ports. So like that.
Also, it is the same now, so it will come on the same interface. Okay.
Hmm. You can see here, right? This is showing as diligenta. So this is
Okay.
diligenta, which we created just now. Here this is up, right? E0 E0G. But this one is down, right?
Yes.
You can see these two are up. Why this is down? E0D. What is E0D? E0D is in E0D E0E, right?
Yeah.
So let me do one thing. It will be up now. So I have to make the physical code also part of that broadcast domain, then only it will work. I made the virtual code, right? Not the physical code, okay? So need to make the physical code also. Right, so coming. One second, one second. E0D, 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 E0E. It's E0D, okay. E0D. Okay, cannot be used, okay. It's not a problem. So what we normally can do is we can create like the interface group, okay? So we can move the port first. We can move the port first. Like suppose you want to create some interface group, right? IFGRP show, okay? A0F, okay? A0F. A0 means FNG. Okay, so what about broadcast domain? What I have in broadcast domain? FNG, I have FNG, but this is 02. Okay, okay, 02. 01 is also there. Okay, so let me do one thing. It will not help me to code actually, but let me just try. Okay, once, just let me just try. A0F. Okay, just try once. E0F. Okay, and just try. E0 default IP space. Since we code is assigned to default IP space. Why it is in default IP space? E0F. E0F is not in default IP space, okay? Specific code is assigned to default IP space. One second. Show. So I'm talking about E0F, right? E0F. E0F is in diligent IP space, right? It's not in default IP space, okay? E0F, whatever is A0F. Okay, got it. Got it. It's in default IP space, okay? So, keyboard দরকার ওদের আমি যাচ্ছি A0, I'm talking A0, correct? We do not have port anything, it's not a problem. সময় দরকার একটু 2 মিনিট দাঁড়ান ওকে ব্রো সো উইল কন্টিনিউ টুমরো ওকে
Okay, okay, sir. Okay.
we'll continue tomorrow okay chalo bye huh bye
Bye.
I'll upload this thing okay so normally what we did we created interface group we added code to it we created broadcast domain we created IPspace we moved the interface group to that particular broadcast domain okay so now what I'm trying to do I'm trying to move the IPspace sorry I'm trying to move the interface group which is part of default IPspace to a broadcast domain because the code which is in that interface group is part of that broadcast domain so that's why I'm trying to move that
Okay, okay. So we'll do it tomorrow. Okay, thank
yeah
you.
we'll do it tomorrow okay
Bye.
chalo bye huh bye